So, Yvonne Stiglingh, she's a Fund Development and Communications Manager at SOS Children's Village. I'm sure most of us know SOS Children's Village. She's been in the NGO sector for more than 10 years in general management and in other roles. She understands corporate fundraising, understands identifying donors, how to write a proposal, and give progress reports. So I'm going to hand over to Yvonne, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the highlights of today. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning everybody. Thanks Nicholas, and thanks to the SA Accounting Academy for inviting me to be here today. I think it's going to be quite an interesting session. I'm sure you've already enjoyed the morning sessions. There's always a lot of pressure though when you're running late, so you want to say as much as you can say in the shortest possible time. But I'd like to know from you, before I actually start, how many in this room are fundraisers? Your sole responsibility, okay? Not. Are you ever just a fundraiser? Okay, so I'm just trying to get an understanding of how many people are into raising funds. And we all have different reasons for being here. And I think David touched very nicely on what is it that we do, why are we doing it. And one of the most interesting things I find is that when I meet people for the first time and I tell them what they do, I cannot tell you how many people turn around and say to me, wow, you must be such a nice person. And I'm thinking, well, you haven't seen me screaming at the kids, you haven't seen me doing this, I'm real, I'm normal. But same goes to all of you guys. Look at this room full of people that are wanting to change South Africa, that are wanting to make a difference. And that's a very well-used cliche, but it really is true. So well done to all of you for being here this morning. Okay. Okay, so looking at the backgrounds of the NGOs, NPOs, charities in South Africa, we have, and I stand to be corrected about the exact number, but about 216 delegates. That was when I spoke to Roz last week. So that's a lot of people representing organizations that are here for change. And obviously we all deal with different causes, different issues. I mean, there are people here fighting for animals' rights and for people and for different diseases, HIV and AIDS, cancer. It's all here, it's all represented in this room. There are 50,000 unregistered NPOs in South Africa. This is on the SangoNet website, so you're welcome to check it there. And more than 100,000 registered, just working in South Africa. So you can understand that that's a lot of people working for causes as well. We are often called NPOs, NGOs, charities, the other business, the ones that nobody else wants to deal with. And by definition, government, non-government sector means exactly that, something that the government has to provide to the country, but is not capable of doing so for whatever reasons, whether it just be a workforce problem, and that's when the NGO or the NPO steps in, and most often it is founded on a need. And I think that's why people have this wonderful idea that we're nice people. Actually not. There was a need. You started something. Nicholas was saying earlier, his wife looks after their child. That's actually how I started in the NGO sector as well. I had a son who was born with spina bifida, and I was working in recruitment. And when he started school, it was so difficult to be working at a normal company, always worried about taking time off. Do people understand that I need to be here, I'm going here? And then gradually, the love for, or the desire, the need that I had to be at home with him led me to saying, well, there must be a different kind of work. And then I was very fortunate to be able to get into recruitment of people living with disabilities. And I worked for a long time with the APD and the government, in social development and that, before moving on further. So it just creates interesting opportunities. The NPO sector is characterized by two types of organizations. We find those that are service-driven. That'll be like your SOS, your Save the Children. Those guys that are really hands